You're listening to SWOO FM, and we have with us a wonderful guest from Brighton who's been up all night because the work ethic is crazy. Hello, KXVU. How are you?
Morning, evening, afternoon. I'm not quite sure what time it is, but yeah, thanks for getting me on, man. I've been watching the show. I'm watching all the progress on it. It's looking really, really good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much. It's crazy, isn't it? Because I think it was almost a year that I was on your show.
Yeah, it's just under a year, I think.
Roughly, isn't it? That's so funny. And you have just been catapulting. I've also been following all the stuff you've been doing. And I mean, yeah, I kind of mentioned it in the intro there, but can we please talk about this work ethic? Because give me some of that. What is going on? It's amazing.
You know what? I'm in quite a lucky position. You know, there's lots of people out there who want to be in a position where they can call music their full-time job, and I'm one of the people who's lucky enough to be in that position. And I'm kind of of the mindset now that like everything I do is part of that same like sort of central career. So whether it be writing about music, whether it be DJing, whether it be making sample packs, whether it be doing like anything along those lines, I treat it all as work. And I think if you're in a position where you're lucky enough for your hobby to be your job, you throw everything into it, you know, because it's the main thing in my life. It's the central thing that I kind of wake up and look forward to kind of do. And that's before we even get into like radio presenting or anything like that. So I'm in a lucky position, and obviously I worked pretty hard to get there. It took me about 10, 11, 12 years, something around that sort of time period to get to a position where I am full time. But now I'm here. The last thing I want to do is kind of ease up. You know, now I'm in a position where I wake up and I can think and do what I want to do 24/7 and kind of and be able to make a living off it. Like that's an opportunity I can't waste, you know. So it's pretty much a case of just taking every day as it comes and packing as much in, because I love what I do, you know. Like if you love what you do, I don't really class it as working. I mean, I say work when I'm tired and I'll go, I've been working all night or whatever, but it's it's not really work if you enjoy it, you know. And the golden rule I kind of live by is if it takes 5 minutes, do it now. And most things in life take 5 minutes if you break them down enough. So yeah, that's my kind of ethic on things.
I love that. And you know what? I really needed to hear that today. I'm not going to lie, because I think, although I completely agree, and I'm very lucky to do so many things that I love as work, you know, and to get paid to do actually like what I would do in my spare time anyway. But I do think there's a weird thing that happens when you go, oh no, but it's work now. Oh no, but I do want to do it, but I feel I've lost my love for it. And I think sometimes that can happen when you're juggling lots of projects, or, you know, when you're doing the boring part of a job, you know, because I don't think anyone enjoys admin, and there's so much admin with music.
Yeah, like, there really is. There really
much.
The thing I find with a lot of it as well is it's always admin you're doing for the first time, you know. It's always like a form that you've never filled in, or it's like or you're like waiting for something to arrive. I don't have any signal in my studio at home, so
Blessing
I have to literally
curse.
go out. I literally have to go outside whenever I need to update like a Google account or something like that, and get them to send the text. So I have to wait outside for the message to come through. So that seems to always happen to me. That's a big kind of snag with it. But like you know, it's just like any job. You know, you take the rough and you take the rough bits with the smooth bits, and any. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe it, but like anything worth doing isn't easy, you know, and that's the kind of thing that I feel a lot of people kind of hit that point, and especially when they're not full time yet, they'll kind of hit a point where it's like, oh, there's so much admin to do, I'm not really getting anything from it. That's when people tend to drop off, but that's when it starts, you know. That's the bit where you need to start pushing.
Yeah, and that's the bit where you need to be on your emails. It's like, you know, if something comes in, you have to be able to respond straight away because it moves really fast. And that's so true. It's like I feel like with everything, you kind of hit a certain point and you think, oh, what? There's so much more to do. Like, I just thought I could do this fun creative bit, but I've got to do all these nuts and bolts, which also no one really ever told us to do. Finances as well, you know, all this stuff. It can take out the joy if you don't sort of see it as, as you say, being part of the end product.
You know, the thing I found with that as well, email threads. They are the worst thing in the world. Like, hit me on DMs. Just hit me on DMs. I can see it. It's easier. If I'm in an email chain with about 12 different people and everyone's responding at different times, that is my idea of living hell. Like,
see, that's so funny because I'm the actual opposite.
Yeah.
I say to people, I'm like, don't come at me in my DMs. Like, please don't. Like, DMs are for memes and kitten gifts. Like, do not come to my DMs with work opportunities. Like, I beg you. I need that to be my sacred space. And I want to touch quickly as well, just before you start talking a bit more about the music, but just about the way that CubCamTV just catapulted over last year. My word, like 7,000 subscribers, I think you said, in early January.
We hit 7.7 this morning. I'm looking at the stats literally as we speak. As I tend to do. I just seem to be always checking stats these days. But yeah, we hit 7.7k this morning.
Congratulations, man! That is incredible. That is incredible. And how did you keep that going? Because I was like, like a regular breakfast show that's through lockdown. I mean, did you have did you have kind of a goal? Were you like, I want to grow this, I want this to be part of a next like step, or were you just enjoying having something to feed into?
Well, the main reason I set the channel up in the first place was because I wasn't able to get into radio to do my day job. So I wanted a way of carrying on the show and carrying on the guests and like just working things into a different like pattern. In a way that I was able to just carry on doing what I was doing. And obviously I was lucky enough to be on the self-employment grant scenario. So obviously I couldn't get into work, but I was able to kind of, to an extent, basically survive and use that time away to build the channel up. And then about sort of 2 months in of doing the show every morning and like posting like random gaming videos and stuff, I thought like I review music. Like it's one of the main things I do, and I started looking around at like reactors and stuff like that and thought, I can do this, but I can do it in a different way. I can come from like a kind of technical sound, a technical stand, you know, like talking about the more sort of compositional value, rather than being a kind of being a kind of fan listener, being more of a kind of more industry head as a listener, if that makes sense. And I started doing it with sort of grime tunes and stuff like that, and then I started sort of reviewing a lot of sort of Central African and Western African stuff that was coming out at the time, like a lot of stuff out of Nigeria at the time, a lot of stuff out of Zambia as well. And obviously a lot of stuff coming out of Jamaica as well. And then from the back of that, I've just seemed to have gained this like really cool, enthusiastic sort of core following on the channel. Whenever I post about certain artists, it's so fun to kind of be a part of and be able to kind of break down these tunes that I realistically, it's not stuff that I was listening to like sort of 4 or 5 years ago, but now I'm in a position where, you know, when you open a door to still like a whole new world and you're like, oh, I want as much of this as possible. That's fully been my thing. And obviously there's been some amazing especially in the sort of Afrobeats world, there's been some amazing albums that have happened to have dropped over the sort of period where my channel was growing. So I've been quite lucky in a way. Like we saw WizKid's album, which was absolutely amazing. We saw Burna Boy's album again, which was amazing. Davido had an amazing album land. Like Pato Rankin had an amazing year. There's just so many artists in that kind of circle who have absolutely smashed 2020 with everything still going on. That it's been kind of like a blessing for me, because I've kind of been able to be there as they've smashed it and kind of comment on it, you know, and it's kind of worked in my favor. And it's just awesome to see the enthusiasm as well that people have for these sounds. It's mind blowing. Like you don't get that level of enthusiasm in the UK. It's crazy.
Sounding so good right now. But they're sounding a Brighton town. Guys, press, place. Who's the boss man?
Yo, this is Skepsis and you're listening to KXVU.
Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel right now, CubCamTV. Stay locked.